So how's everybody doing so far?
Good, you?
Good first 3 hours.
Mostly just walking around with my eyes wide open.
Yeah, there's a lot to say. This is my first time at this convention. I'm loving it.
I was
Loving how green it is.
Wandering and then like not really being stressful planning things out, just walking around going, that looks fun, I'll go to that one. I've heard of that person.
Were you recording that camera, by the way? I think, or is it good?
This one might be good.
Okay. Waters. Do you want me to sit up there, or can you frame it well enough? Like, check the cameras. Good. This one looks okay. Which is that camera.
Little Lord.
Who did that camera?
Is that?
This one actually probably not as a close-up on just the interview. This camera we kind of like to have, actually, I want to just donate to the guys that actually cut him out.
Please.
Kind of aim for like just above the chair arms. And then that can have the... Can you zoom in a bit so that you can center that, the chair in the middle? Without, yeah, that's probably good. And then... And that looks... I think that's good. I don't know. You might want to pull in a little further on. That's good. Or actually, let's pull it just slightly more so that the origin is visible. There, perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. Just the last person will be one person. So. That's not much we can do. I'm going to check with our panel minions and see if they can get in contact with Blood. I'll let you get on that bit. Or check back in. I'm sure he's probably trying to get his way through more.
This isn't the easiest room to get to. It is high up. I said this room's kind of high up. It's hard. Yeah, it takes a while to get to.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he's on his way.
If he was on the show floor, depending on if he was like in the back of the show floor or wherever, trying to get through that.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah, that can be tough. For
they're
sure.
checking up. They have powers.
Excellent.
As a minion, I get a nice badge holder.
We just got a thing like this.
You
It's
too
like
can be a minion. You just volunteer to sign up online like 8 months in advance. Say, I want to work for free. And then you can get the nice badge holder.
So it's not for free because you
Oh,
get
yeah,
the badge
yeah,
holder.
I do get paid with the badge holder.
The shirt, I bet you get.
Oh, yeah, they get the shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the many benefits of being a minion.
Yeah.
last year we just got a little plastic.
Yeah, last year was not nearly as nice.
Now I wish I would have done it again this year.
Well, hopefully they'll get in touch with him soon. If not, you can just interview yourself.
Yes.
Or you can interview someone from the audience.
I'm
Just
thinking
go on
some good candidates in here.
Those are all looking down the door.
My name's Albert, by the way. I work for CBR, which is a comic book website. It's our logo. Nice to meet you. No podcast. Just articles and video.
You guys keep me very distracted while I'm at work. I appreciate it.
You know what? I love hearing that. What's weird is when I get distracted during work, because that is my work. But then other things on the side, like, oh, I'm interested in that. And they're like, oh, it's something I should do. You know.
Color research.
I hope they're live streaming all of this.
Yeah.
People at home all over the world riveted.
There, and then they're recording it, and I think for like,
Library of Congress, it's where it's going directly.
it's going to be free for like, what, 30 days or something like that?
That's something like that, yeah.
Then after that, if you pay for it, you keep it.
I know it's like 15 now, right, for everything, and I think I don't know. I'm no financial wizard. So you guys are gonna have some cool questions for Frank? Yeah.
You were trying to figure out how to get them on. The middle one we can touch. On the upside, you can't see quite as much touch. There's still some touch. Is that bright? Yeah.
Do it.
We are still trying to locate our interviewee, so hang in there. We'll hopefully get word one way or the other shortly. Sorry about that. We have radios to contact people, but they're having trouble actually getting someone to come back. So I don't. Parts of this building, it's like all concrete and. Unless you want to just hang out for whenever.
I mean, I'm really enjoying sitting in this chair.
I mean, if you want, you can put on the mic and you just like talk about what you do and your work. And,
Oh, sure, that's
If you
going to
want.
fascinate people.
yeah.
Sit at a computer all day.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Uh-oh, we're losing people. I have faith. If anyone wants to play the part of Frank Cho, talk about like what it was like to create Liberty Meadows and working on Marvel stuff, recent Savage Wolverine. Hey!
This is huge. I was on the other side. Just
Oh,
walking.
yeah.
And
Hi,
how's that?
Frank. Nice to meet you. My name's Albert Chang. I'm senior editor at
Good.
CBR. We've done email interviews before. We've never met and talked.
This is actually like a talk show.
So we have lapel mics. Clip it to your jacket on your side, and I suggest taking off your lanyard so that it doesn't rub against the mic.
Sure.
Is this okay?
That should probably be fine. If you see us going like this to you, that means that it's too far away, but it should be. I think that's should probably be far enough. You don't really have much else.
Yeah, this is. Whoa.
Oh,
Well, that.
sounds good.
Okay, cool. Hello.
Can you hear me?
It's rubbing against your shirts. Can you?
Yeah, so
It should be fully.
put it like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good. Is that?
Can you hear me?
We're good?
Nice to meet you. So I figured, just talk just general stuff.
Yeah.
It's called Secret Origins, career
Okay.
stuff, early stuff,
Right,
just
right.
formative years, that kind of thing. And obviously take some questions from these fine people.
Okay. Questions?
So should we start now? Are we ready to go? Okay. Well, hello. How's everybody doing in the first 3 hours? Still good? Still good? Here it is. Say that we are at a convention, and you are a veteran of a lot of these.
Right.
How many do you do a year?
I do about 10 a year.
It's quite a bit.
Yeah. It's a kind of a very exhausting.
And I obviously, if you do that many, I'm sure it works out well for you. But is it still fun? Like, do you look forward to them every time, or does it become something of a grind?
For the most part, it's fun.
Good.
Because you get to see a lot of fans and talk with them. Also meet my peers, chat with them, catch
Sure.
up, and also see a lot of exciting cosplayers. It's always exciting to
It's
see
always exciting.
what they dress up as.
And you go to some cool places. You were recently in London, right, for the London Con?
Yes.
So that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously Seattle is great. Which may or may not include a popular user-based encyclopedia that's on the World Wide Web.
Okay.
you were born in Korea, right? And then you
Yeah.
moved, but you moved pretty early on to America. So
Yeah, when I was 6, it was purely tax dodge,
Excellent. And so when did you first sort of discover comics?
Fifth grade. A bunch of my friends were collecting comics, and I've always gravitated toward which means a lot because, you know, my mom only gave me $5 a week.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
actually
that's 50 comics.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Well, not in 83, but yeah, it was like 20.
Yeah, I had to starve myself for 2 days to get all the comics I want because it was 60 cents back then.
Yeah.
So I remember buying Fantastic Four 250 by John Byrne.
Excellent.
The X Factor, which was fantastic, and Paul Smith, Claremont's Uncanny X-Men 166, and from there just snowballed.
Yeah.
The John Romita Jr. His first run on Amazing Spider-Man, which was with the Hobgoblin on the cover. It was like it's a 238.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
And yeah, just never stopped.
So it sounds very Marvel.
Yeah, I never liked DC. I mean like DC. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I mean, Marvel characters were so much more exciting. DC back then, it didn't. What's the word I'm looking for? Sucks isn't the word. No, it was actually kind of like boring.
Okay.
I mean, the only DC books that I actually read during that time period was the New Teen Titans by Wolfman and Perez.
Perez, yeah. That
was a fantastic book, and I occasionally read Batman, just because it's Batman. But other than that, I never read DC books.
That's interesting. And obviously, since you have a very strong background in comic strips,
Right.
is that something that also you were a fan of? Just like newspaper comic strips?
Yeah, I grew up reading Bloom County, so Bloom County was a huge influence on me. If you look at Liberty Meadows, you'll know that Bloom County is a
Makes
huge
sense.
And Calvin and Hobbes and Far Side, and the old strips, Little Abner, Pogo, all those classic stuff.
Excellent. And when did you start drawing? Was it around that time when you really were starting to get into art, or did it come later?
I mean, my mom said I just started drawing as a kid and never stopped. And I noticed all my friends stopped drawing and started asking me to draw stuff for them. That's
Yeah.
I guess, is a turning point, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Yeah, because, obviously a lot of kids draw, and it's like, oh, well, maybe I should keep doing this. And even at that age, to sort of realize that, that's pretty cool. But you didn't pursue art as a career right away, right? It took a while.
Right. Well, coming from a typical Asian background,
Sure. Hey, tell me about it.
My parents put tremendous pressure on me to become a doctor or those two pretty much, and I was always good in biology, so I gravitated toward the medical field. So I went to nursing school,
Right.
because the medical program, doctor's program, was just too long, and nursing program was a lot shorter. You're surrounded by women. And and I look good in white. So I actually have a bachelor's degree in nursing, which is now. My cartoons to different, I guess, contests. So I started winning awards, and then that kind of snowballed into a contract to do Liberty Meadows as a newspaper syndicated strip.
That's awesome.
And then from there, I went to Image, and then from Image, turned out Axel Alonso noticed me right away and recruited me for Marvel. So people ask me all the time, how do you break into comics? I'm like, I have no idea. I just
go to nursing school.
Yeah, I just picked up the phone. I mean, yeah, literally, like Marvel called me up and said, all right, sure.
And the comic you were doing when you were in college was sort of a precursor to
Yeah.
Liberty Meadows.
Yeah,
It was
right.
University Squared.
It was called, yeah, University Square. Yeah, it's basically a bunch of lab animals that get shipped to the wrong place. It went, instead of going to the research lab, they get shipped to a college fraternity, and they pretty much became pledges and become full-blown college students.
And when you look back at those early strips, I mean,
Right.
do you see like, oh, you know, those were, you know, pretty good for the time, or do you look at them and just say like, oh, I've come so far? How, you know, are you
Yeah,
kind of?
they look like crap. Can I curse in this show? All right.
We got thumbs up from the audience.
Is there any kids out there?
Kids don't say crap.
Right. It looked like shit. So, yeah, and then it basically snowballed into Liberty Meadows when I got picked up for syndication.
And how long did you do Liberty Meadows in syndication? Because you had a very long contract to do it, right?
Right. I had a 15-year contract. I quit after my 5th year because I couldn't deal with the censorship mostly.
Right.
It was like every week I was being censored by my editors, which after 5 years it just drove me nuts. I couldn't talk. 5 topics you can't talk about in family newspaper is sex, violence, drug usage, sex, violence, racial issues, and what's the 5th one? I forgot the 5th one.
But basically anything funny.
Religion.
Yeah.
Right. Did I say religion?
You didn't.
Religion. Yeah.
So basically some of the funniest stuff to
Yeah.
riff on. Yeah, we're all off the table.
Exactly.
And so was that difficult to get out of that contract? I mean, I'm sure this was a long time ago, but it seems like with these syndicates, you know, they seem so like institutionalized and stuff. Like, was it a weird move at the time, or was it fairly
At that
smooth?
point, I didn't give a shit. I mean, like I was turning 30, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I just couldn't take it anymore. So I just like quit with no plans, which I don't recommend doing, you know. And you know, and Image picked me up right away.
Right, remember that?
And then from there,
They
Marvel,
did the comics and they were
right
sideways.
and, yeah. And then Marvel picked me up, and then so I've been very fortunate. Nothing is planned. Everything is by accident. I've just been kind of like, in a weird way, I've been tripping up, you know.
Like that.
Yeah.
So that's a unique transition. You know, I don't
Right.
think there's many people that go from newspaper comic strip to
comics.
writing and drawing Wolverine comics.
Right.
I would say fairly unprecedented.
Right.
Was that a career track that, I mean, it sounds like since you were always a fan of superhero comics, especially Marvel, it seems like that was something that you probably maybe were hoping for. Or did it seem possible, though, when you were doing the strip on a daily paper?
When I was doing the daily newspaper strip, Liberty Meadows, I actually from time to time would try to figure out how to break into comic books, you know, because that was still my dream, even though everyone said that breaking into a syndicated newspaper comic strip career is like super rare.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know.
it is. Yeah.
But I really didn't give a shit about newspaper comic strips, you know. They're boring as hell. So I always kept my eye on comic book, but I really didn't know how to break into comics until I just had enough and just quit. And then again, everything.
That's what it takes sometimes, huh?
Yeah, just purely by luck.
So your first stuff for Marvel was it during the Marvel Knights Spider-Man with Mark Miller? Or at least the first
around
stuff
that
of
time.
length? Yeah.
It was like 2003, I think.
Okay, yeah.
It was about a little over 10 years ago. So Axel contacted me, who then was just
a senior editor. He was
senior
pretty
editor.
high-ranking, but it was years
Right.
before he was editor-in-chief.
Right. And he basically wanted me to revamp Shauna the She-Devil.
Right.
Which, because when I was doing Liberty Meadows, I used to do kind of the Jungle Girl stuff just for fun. And I guess he noticed that, and and the way I draw women, so he thought that Shauna the She-Devil would be a natural fit for me. And that's what I did. I mean, and the funny thing about Shauna is, like, I really didn't know anything about the character. So when I got the call to revamp Shauna, I actually went back and reread Shauna the She-Devil. and it sucked. I mean, so I told Axel, can I just start from scratch, you know? And he said, yeah, do whatever you want. Just, he said, make it entertaining, make it fun and entertaining. So that's what I did.
But while risking the wrath of all the hardcore Shaun the She-Devil fans who love that continuity.
Yeah, oh, screw them. All three of them.
So that was the first thing you were called about, but that didn't come out first. It took a little bit for that book to come out.
So
from what I remember, there was some changes.
Yeah. So originally it was supposed to be a Max book, a rated R book, and then I did around issue 3. I was middle of issue 3 when Bill Jamis got kicked out, got separated with Marvel, and then Dan Buckley came in and as the new publisher, and there were just a lot of shuffling around, and they decided to downgrade the rating from rated R to PG-13. And so I had to go back and redraw a lot of the pages because they had, you know, naked ladies in it, because, you know, women's nipples, they're the most dangerous thing on the planet. So I was actually redrawing those pages, which was frustrating. And then Marvel threw me a couple of issues of Mark Millar's Spider-Man.
Marvel Knight Spider-Man, yeah.
So technically I started working on Shauna first, but Spider-Man came out first before Shauna did.
So was that weird to have to literally go back and draw clothes on people, or was it just kind of like, this is the gig?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's less exciting. You're putting covering things up. It's, you know, it sucks. I mean, you want to uncover them. You know, there's no kids in here, right? You want to make sure. All right.
So with your career now, I mean, it seems like you've done a lot of creator-owned stuff in the past few years, but you've also kept busy at Marvel. You know, at least a couple things a year. Is that kind of sort of your ideal, you know, sort of doing kind of your own thing, but also keeping busy in the work-for-hire world?
Yeah, I mean, I'm under exclusive contract with Marvel for I guess this is my 12th year, I think that's roughly.
Wow.
I mean, Marvel has treated me great, and I can't say enough nice things about Axel Alonso. I mean, I owe Axel my career. I mean, he's the best. You know, yeah. I mean, Marvel's always been keeping me busy. Excuse me. And I just got my my next project assignment literally right before I flew here.
Excellent.
So I can't announce it, but it's pretty big.
Can you give us a very vague hint?
It has women in it.
Has women in it. So it's not
in my mind, yes.
Excellent.
So yeah, I'm not sure when Marvel's gonna make that announcement, but it's probably gonna be soon.
Okay.
I'm supposed to turn in a cover next week, I think. So.
Very cool. And speaking of covers, you're a very busy cover artist, not just for Marvel, but a variety of publishers. How much do you like doing that gig, and what are sort of some of the challenges of that as compared to, I guess, anything else?
Well, covers are fun. I like to see them as like desserts, and drawing the actual comic book. The interiors, that's like the main meal. But you can only do so many covers before it starts getting boring. You know, you want something
sequential.
So I go back and forth on it. But right now I'm okay with the cover gigs because since I have other projects that I'm working on, it's nice. It's more easy for me to juggle multiple projects just by doing covers at this point right now.
And, you know, in regards to multiple projects, you seem like an artist that always has a lot going on, even maybe outside of comics. Like, I know you've done some video game stuff, you know, you've had art in, like, gallery shows and stuff like that. Like, what's that sort of balance like? I mean, are you usually, you know, working pretty regularly on a variety of different media? Yeah,
I mean, I'm always working on, like, 3 or 4 projects all the time. I don't know why, because I guess I have like a short attention span. Once I get bored with some, I have to move on to the other one. So literally, I'm just like going project hopping.
Right.
So I've always been like that. I mean, Don't know why. I mean, that's the way I am.
No, yeah, you know, keep busy. Yeah, that's
Right,
good.
right.
And sounds like there's a variety of things that interest you.
Exactly, yeah.
And one recent thing that you did for Marvel, I guess it was last year, was the Savage Wolverine story.
Yeah.
Which you both wrote and drew.
Right.
Which I think was a first for Marvel. Obviously, you know, you have experience writing your own stuff for years and years.
I
but-
wrote and drew Shaun of the She-Devil.
Oh, that's right. That's right. First,
Yeah.
I guess, in the,
Right.
I don't know. Well, first in a while.
Right, right. You know,
It was first in a while after drawing a lot of other writers' stuff. I
Right.
guess is probably the best way to put it. Let's pretend I said that. Let's rewind the live stream.
Right.
And how fun was that experience? And getting to do Wolverine, and it seemed like you had a lot of creative freedom in that story. In that it was kind of not necessarily tied to continuity, and it was sort of back in that same sort of Shauna territory because it was in the Savage Land.
Yeah, writing and drawing Wolverine was just fantastic. Like you said, it was just total creative freedom. That's one of the great things about Marvel is if you have a good idea, they just like run with it. You know, they don't care. Just Axel's always like make it fun and entertaining. Just run with it. So Wolverine was fun because Wolverine was one of my favorite characters growing up. So it was
Sure.
actually kind of like living the dream. And you know, I would like to come back and do another Wolverine story down the road. You know,
Yeah.
if I have one.
Excellent. And you know, actually, you know, given that, since you know you were, I guess, sort of coming into Marvel, obviously writing and drawing all your own stuff. What's that experience like, shifting gears when you're working with someone like Brian Michael Bendis or Mark Miller, and you're the artist and you're working with the writer?
Well, I mean, like, I can't bitch at the writers anymore, you know? Where's my script, motherfucker?
I mean, you could do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
It might not be wise,
I
but
mean,
yeah.
I talk to myself all the time, you know? So it is a great deal of more pressure, but at the same time, it's more fun because whatever I can come up with, I can draw. So it's fun.
That's excellent. I'd like to turn to see if anyone in the audience has questions right now. Anybody? Right there.
Yeah, I got one of your illustration, hardback books.
Yeah.
And I noticed that there was just a little paragraph in there. That's the only thing that wasn't apes and babes. And I wanted to ask you, do you primarily focus on the inks and the pencils, or do you also do the colors? And if so, how'd you pick up the color background since you were kind of self-taught, it sounds like?
Yeah, I'm completely self-taught, and basically I just color it until it looks good. It looks good. I really don't know. I mean, how to answer that.
Or you did do a little?
Yeah, I also do a lot of oil paintings on the side for fun, which a lot of people don't know. So if you come to my house, I have multiple giant oil painting canvases, that
That's
I'm
awesome.
working on. So again, I can't sit still.
And in your career, obviously, I think it's no secret that you're known for drawing women.
Drawing porn. Let's.
Your word, not mine. Let the record show. But that aspect of it, since that is such a signature of yours, when did that kind of, for lack of a better term, develop in your artistic career? Like, when did you sort of realize that that was something that you had maybe a specific flair for, a specific talent for?
I've always liked women.
It's step one, I'm sure.
It's pretty funny because I grew up, I was raised Catholic, so I had this tremendous Catholic guilt. If you look
Catholic
at
and Asian, so
Yeah.
there's a lot, yeah. I'm right there with you, so yeah.
being Asian and being Catholic is just like, Jesus Christ. It's like, I mean,
Just a cycle of repression.
Yeah,
just,
exactly. I mean, it's like being Jewish on steroids, So, actually, it's a funny story.
Let's hear it.
You might have to cut it. But my mom always wanted me to become a priest.
Wow.
For the longest time, she said, you'll make a great priest. And I said, no, I have no interest in priesthood. And
Sure.
she always said, you have flair for, talking with people. Not right now, though, this. But so my mom always pushed me toward priesthood. And so finally in high school, I just had it. And I'm like, Mom, I can't be a priest. Because my mom's a strict Catholic. And she goes, why can't you be a priest? And I told her, I said, because I'm not a homosexual. And that just pissed her off. I never seen my mom so angry before in my life. And then my dad come up there, so my mom is like yelling at me, you know, and my dad comes up there and goes, what's going on? You know, like, talk to your son. I can't believe what he's just said. You know, my dad's like, what? I told him that he'll be a great priest, you know. And my dad said, there's nothing wrong with his dick. So you're going to cut that out, right? Just I don't need letters from I don't need letters from...
Well, we appreciate the frankness.
So that was the last time my mom told me I should be a priest. I mean, it's...
So nurse was the concession after all of that.
Exactly.
Interesting. That was you meeting them halfway.
Right, exactly.
Excellent. And, you know, since obviously you're known for drawing women, and sometimes women in various stages of undress,
right,
or complete undress,
right,
and then later covered up.
Right. Right.
You know, have you, you know, there's some criticism, I think, you know, like, of objectification, that kind of thing.
Right.
Does that bug you at all, or is that, no, this is what I do, take it or leave it?
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, like, screw them. Yes. Pays the bills. No, like once you start overthinking things, it's the death of the product. You know?
Right.
So I try not to think too much of it. You know, I just do what I feels natural. The thing is, like, if you do something with a passion, the audience will come to you. You shouldn't chase after the audience. Do what you like, and if it's good enough and it's passionate enough, you will find the audience.
Some wise words, guys.
Right.
Any other questions from right there?
A long time ago, you do this how to draw something, and then you like draw some lines, and you go, bang, there it is.
Right.
Did that come from something? Did that come from somebody saying something about your art? Or?
Just to repeat the question for the stream, it's about no, it's about the how to draw sort of gags.
Right. No, that yeah, that's an old gag. I think Mad Magazine had it at one point or something like that. Just how to draw something and you have just a circle. So, yeah, I was ripping off Mad Magazine.
Go for the grades. And, I think another question back there. Yes.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you're self-taught.
Right.
You had some influences from some strips.
Right.
Some of those early comic books. What other influences did you have? Did you have anything outside of the comic book field?
Yeah, most of my influences are outside of the comic book field. I like painters a lot. I like the old painters. You know, if I wasn't doing comics, I think I would probably be like a portrait painter or something, because oil painting has always been a big passion of mine. John Singer Sargent is a big influence. Norman Rockwell, Van Dyke, Waterhouse, all those great 19th century romantic painters, Waterhouse, all those guys. So, and a lot of sculptors too, like Carpo, Michelangelo. Can't pronounce these French names, but a bunch of those. I love that 19th century period, where all the romantic new realism hit, and everything was that time period, you know, until the Impressionists and until post-Impressionists screwed everything up, which led into modern abstract art, all bullshit art, you know. So I like that period. So all those people from that time period were a huge influence on me.
Just to follow up on that then, is there any contemporary artists that you're in the field that
Right.
Any contemporary artists?
Yeah, I mean, I like looking at Adam Hughes stuff. Adam is just absolutely fantastic. I just wish you would draw women with bigger ass.
I was going to say, it seems like you guys might have some similar interests.
Right. Yeah, just waste stuff. I like what Brian Stelfreeze is doing. He's an absolutely highly underrated, super talented artist. Travis Charest is another great guy that I like to keep tabs on. And Actually, a huge influence right now, everything that he does that I really love is Jeff Darrow.
Yeah.
I think Jeff Darrow is just absolutely fantastic.
Just did a new Shaolin Cowboy miniseries.
Yeah, it's a fun book. You know, he's a crazy bastard. Who else? I mean, I'm leaving out names, but you know.
That's a good list.
Yeah.
It's been obviously years since you did Liberty Meadows stuff. Do you miss that at all? Do you have any? I mean, obviously you're a busy guy. You've got a lot going on. We've been talking about this whole time.
Right.
But do you have like any inkling that you would like to return at some point? Is that a possibility, or have you left that door open?
I left the door open because after I stopped Liberty Meadows, Sony picked up optioned Liberty Meadows to turn it into a TV show, and so I worked on that for about 3 years or so, and then it, like a lot of things in the TV industry, it just got shelved and disappeared, and so by that point, I'm pretty much burnt out of Liberty Meadows.
Sure.
Not on Liberty Meadows, but just thinking in 4 panels.
Right.
Because I used to do that in my sleep, but now I'm doing 22 pages comics, so it completely changed my way of thinking. So I'm having a hard time trying to go back to that thinking in that 4 panel mode. So, and also there's a fear that I might suck. It's been what?
Yeah.
6 years?
I would
or
probably
so?
more. I would say.
Yeah,
maybe
6 or
like,
7 years since I did Liberty Meadows last. So so a big factor is fear that I might not be as funny.
Well, yeah, actually, that's an interesting thing too, because obviously, you know, with your comic book work, it's been more sort of the action adventure type stuff, and you haven't been in that sort of pure humor mode
in a while. Three panels. So kind of changing my brain to think that it's just been tough.
Yeah, that doesn't sound easy.
Right.
Any more questions from the audience at this time? Right there, yes.
Guns. Yes, I have like 5 projects. So one is the Kickstarter, How to Draw Beautiful Women, Frank Cho method art book. I need to finish that. That's going to come out in October, I think, October, November, around there. And I'm doing a World of Pain with Tom Signosky, which is coming out end of the year. Tom wrote the entire first book, and I'm in process of illustrating it. I have 2 projects that I literally came out of a meeting with right before here, at a lunch meeting, and that is pretty much nailed. So I can't announce that.
Big deals happening here at the Emerald City Comic Con floor.
Because contract has not been signed, but it's pretty much a done deal. And I have a couple of other projects that is in various stages of completion, all creator-owned. And Guns and Dino is one of them. Guns and Dino is for Delcourt in France. So Guns and Dino, I shot myself in the foot. It's supposed to be a 3-issue miniseries. I finished the first issue, and then I rewrote issue number 2, which ballooned up to 5 issues. So I'm trying to shrink it back down to at least 4 issues. And then Marvel keep hitting me with really great projects. So it's just piss poor time management on my part, So I'm an artist, I suck. I suck at time management.
Yeah, it's different sides of the brain, right? Yeah.
Right.
As we're winding down here, since this is a chance to, talk in a little bit different setting, I'd be curious to hear a little bit about some of your interests outside of comics and art, and sort of, what you're into, sort of beyond that world. Maybe people get to know you slightly better. I mean, they've got to know you very well in your high school years.
I like to nap a lot.
Nap, that's good.
That's it. Nap.
Naps.
Naps. I like watching movies.
Yeah.
I have a huge movie library at home, so I pop in the movie every time I draw, and mostly for background noise. But so movies, naps, and being a cold and distant father to my daughters. What else?
What's a recent movie that you were really taken with?
I don't know. Actually, I've been watching a lot of TV shows.
Okay, what's on your list, on your season pass list?
I just started Boardwalk Empires.
Excellent.
That seems to be doing pretty good. Game of Thrones. I'm a huge fan of that.
Some people in here probably have heard of that show.
Right. And what did I just finish watching? Sherlock.
Excellent. Also, I would imagine some fans here. Yeah.
Sherlock and Elementary. I'm a huge Sherlock Holmes fan. So, and I also watch Elementary, which I've kind of it grew on me. I was kind of against it with the whole casting woman of Watson, but it actually grew on me.
Yeah, it seems like people really have come around. What about any TV comedies? Because you are a comedy fan, or any current ones?
I watch Big Bang Theory on occasion, but comedy not so much. I don't know why. It's just weird.
Yeah, no.
It's weird. Mostly
fair.
Dramas and science fiction and stuff like that.
Awesome, excellent. Any other questions from the audience in the last few minutes here? We've got 5 minutes, guys. Right there.
Is your studio in your home, or do you have a attached?
Question was, is your studio in the home, or do you have a separate?
Yeah, it's after my divorce, I bought a house, and I basically wanted to do everything what I wanted, So half my entire house is the studio. So it's actually great. I mean, the commute is fantastic. Just roll out of bed, walk downstairs. The entire main floor is my studio. It's my paint studio, my drawing station, my theater room, and the kitchen. And it's great. And, and half the time I don't wear pants. It's the life.
Absolutely. Are you more apt to work sort of whenever it kind of strikes you, or are you fairly disciplined in terms of okay, I'm gonna do this today at this time, and then have the night off to do whatever, or is it just kind of you work when you work?
I'm a workaholic, so I work 7 days a week constantly, and it's something that I'm not too proud of, but it's just the way I am. I mean, I'm not as disciplined. I just work.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I'm playing, I'm working. I'm always thinking of the next project and stuff like that.
Excellent. Any more questions as we have a couple more minutes? Yes. Actually, you haven't asked yet, so yes.
I guess just expanding on the idea that you were speaking of, do you think it's pretty important for artists to have that downtime of not necessarily thinking about projects, but experiencing the world around them and then coming back to the...
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You should definitely get out of the studio, get some sun, because, and meet people. I mean, that's all part of life. I mean, when you meet people, the exchange of ideas is just fuel for your imagination and your work.
Yeah, when you're doing something else, you probably can, your mind is in a different place, and it might help inspire, I'm sure, other ideas for work when you're doing that. I think we had one more question. Yes.
Do you use any models for your work?
Internet porn. Yeah, actually, that's a good question. The thing, I use half and half. Half the time I just draw straight out of my head, and the other half I use. I have a huge photo reference file. You know, people like to call that porn, but it's. I have a very well organized files of different body parts. That does sound kind of creepy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I sometimes use photo references to correct drawings and stuff like that. Live models, not really, because, you know, one, I don't have access to live models, and two, I don't think my girlfriend would appreciate that. Although I do pose myself in front of mirrors, not for drawing, just for shits and giggle. No, I use myself as a model a lot of the time if I can't find a photo. So.
I'm still thinking about well-organized files of body parts.
Yeah.
Coming from anyone else, it would seem
Right.
sinister, but from you, it just it makes
Right.
sense. It's,
Right.
yeah, it's great. Well, I think we have 1 minute left. I don't know if anyone else has a real quick question. Looks like no.
No?
But I really appreciate the conversation and the insight. Is there any final words you'd like to impart on the lovely Emerald City audience, or anything you want to plug?
Be cool, stay in school.
Stay in school even if it's nursing school.
Right. So is this online or what?
I believe this has been online the whole time.
Oh, this is
streaming live to millions. Who have all been delighted and charmed and learned a lot, certainly.
All right. Send all complaint letters to CBR.
Well, that's excellent. Thanks so much, Frank. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. That was cool. It was fun.
No, are you serious?
Yeah.
Straight?
I mean, I don't know how many people are actually watching it.
Right. I guess I shouldn't have cussed.
No, I think that's fine. Yeah, I wasn't really sure of all the details either. I got sort of drafted into doing a couple of these because my boss, Jonah, was doing like 18 of these. And he asked me to take like a couple, yeah. But yeah, no, I'm sure it's fine. No.
Yeah, the project that Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy.
Oh, nice.
They're going to release it right before the movie comes out.
Oh, great. So is that going to be part of the regular series, or are you doing like a side thing?
That's the annual #1.
Oh, perfect. Are you writing and drawing, or are you doing Bendis?
Yeah, Bendis sent me the script. So.
Excellent. That's very cool. Looking forward to that. Thanks so much, Frank.
Thank you.
It was really great. I didn't mean to.
Did he do it? Had like an upside down Spider-Man.
Oh, you're a panelist. Still there with us? It's only written.
Oh, that would be insidious.
Yeah. Should have taken it.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried.
Oh, I guess you know Frank too.
I'm Jonah.
Everyone? And yes, and our last speaker was, we just all, he did
I did
interpretive
a wonderful
dance.
job.
Did you do a song in there?
It wasn't awkward at all.
His Weiland.
Yeah.
And we're on the tights and good lift, because he has a problem with lift.
Yeah. Next time, if there's delay, I'm gonna bring up FlipON and go full Gallagher.
Grilled cheese sandwich with like grilled cheese sandwich hamburger.
Right.
This is how much he got. Me too. I try to come prepared.
More like, I was kind of quiet. And I said, I left the next week, said, we're not going to. So I understand.
I don't know, it's like maybe 5 years a year. No. Well, make sure it's for it.
You know, that's another question. All right, it was pretty fun. Just imagine coming at the
I love the, I love the.
Well, it was a funny story. I told her. Well, I just left, and the next day, we're not gonna have you over. So you might not know.
Maybe I'm going to sit on a stool now.
He's been.
Oh, that's good. You know, he's a regular.